After only a short time of searching, we stumbled upon the perfect venue to host our wedding.
It was just an hour drive south of San Francisco.
A winery nestled away in the mountains of Los Gatos. The day had finally arrived.
Considerably the biggest and most prominent day in any person's life.
Certainly a day I had been looking forward to for quite some time.
It was finally time.
All the decorations were set,
Arrangements made,
and guests on their way.
Welcome to the
Tom and Sarah wedding.
The first time I met Yvonne, I was actually interviewing for a job. And the person who was in charge of hiring me, who ironically turned out to be our officiant Chad, set up a meeting for me to shadow a senior sales manager to understand the job role better. And it just so happened that that person I was supposed to shadow was Yvonne. And after a year or so of small talk around the office, I finally began to court her. And the rest, like they say, is history.
First impression that I met Jeff. It goes back a few years when Chad, at that time my director, said, "Hey, you got some free time? I have this person coming in for shadowing." And of course, at that time I totally said yes to Chad, thinking that we're, hiring college students. When I saw him, and I was like, wait, no, he must not be in college. He looks like a high schooler. And at that time, I was like, okay, well, I'll continue with the shadowing, knowing that he's not paying any attention. I'm sure he was there just to get in with Chad and pretty much just get a job. So yeah, that's my first impression of him.
Once we were engaged, I figured, oh, the hard part is done. But little did I realize there was so much more ahead of us. The wedding planning itself taught me a lot about all the work that goes into planning a big event. And it definitely had its ups and downs. And one of the most unpredictable parts of the whole planning process was the weather.
In the Santa Cruz Mountains, the heavy rain and gusty winds caused flooding, mudslides, and downed trees.
On the Embarcadero in San Francisco, the downpour of rain mixed with the swelling king tide, causing waves to crash over the rail onto the sidewalks.
This is all being fueled by a potent jet stream, that storm system over hundreds of miles offshore, that circulation. That'll be the key factor with our forecast.
Well, speaking of the wedding planning, we know from the start that I would be doing most of the planning. One, obviously he knows I'm more hands-on, and second, I'm in the field, so it's easier for me to reach out to the vendors within the industry and so on. So, it's fine me doing the planning, but I wanted him to be a part of the planning just by agreeing or, choosing one or the other when I narrowed down my decisions. Well, he had pretty much the same reply the first couple of questions when I asked him. It's, I don't care or it doesn't matter. And I was like, oh my God, fuming. And obviously I blew up on him saying like, what do you mean you don't care? Is there anything else you care about? And finally he altered his answers, which, I appreciate. I know it's really hard. So after that, everything went pretty darn smoothly, especially when it comes to wedding planning and discussions, to make a cocktail for me or ensure that there is wine close by. So kudos to him. But towards the end, we're just really glad that the planning is over, have everything all settled down, and looking forward to the honeymoon. Bachelorette party. It was a lot of fun. Really couldn't ask for more. Obviously we were in between a couple cities to choose from, and knowing me and my name itself, Yvonne, which is a French name, we ended up with Montreal in Canada, which is obviously known for the French culture. The ladies know me very, very well. We started off with spa treatments literally right after we landed, and it was one of the best spas ever. Besides that, we dine in one of the finest and amazing restaurants, the lounges and bars throughout. So it's a lot of fun, and besides the hot Cheetos and endless alcohol that we brought, there were a lot of penises. Seems to be the theme. Had a lot of fun. I really couldn't ask for more. It was definitely the best time I've had.
My bachelor party was great, and most definitely did not involve any strip clubs. The amazing part about the whole weekend was that I had not seen some of these guys in years, and it was amazing that we could just pick up right where we left off, like we were back in college again. Only this time, we were able to take our Super Smash Bros. Competition to the next level and play inside a car. Being outdoors and enjoying nature was the perfect vacation to me. And, well, driving a boat and almost crashing it. But most of all, being with the people who taught me a long time ago how to really enjoy life. Before the actual
ceremony itself, we actually have a cultural ceremony. It's called the tea ceremony in our culture, as well as door games. So tea ceremony, basically, we kneel down and we give tea as a thank you and respect to our elders, mainly our parents and any older siblings we have. And then we get to the fun part, the door games. So the groom and the groomsmen, they need to go through at least minimum 3 different games and win it in order to get to meet the bride.
Hello. Alright, what do you got planned? On the morning of the wedding, we had to participate in the Chinese door games and tea ceremony. And it was something that I and all my groomsmen were very unfamiliar with, as none of us knew much about the cultural traditions.
And then after you fill out the blanks, I need you to recite it out loud for Yvonne. And if she can't hear it, then you need to say it louder. And we're gonna find out from her if she can hear it.
And if she doesn't like it, you can't go read it.
That's good too.
So no repeating the same word and she has to like it?
Yes. There you go.
However, after some slight initial rebuttal, we got on board and actually had a really fun time with it. And let me tell you, shoving a ton of marshmallows in your mouth while trying to sing is both delicious and gross at the same time.
In the beginning, it's really hard to get the guys buy-in for the door games itself. I think one, they're not familiar with the games itself and the culture, and two, I really don't think they're just ready to be men and go through the games. But eventually, they did it, understanding and respecting my culture, and I really think towards the end they had a lot of fun. I mean, who doesn't want to sing Aladdin with marshmallows in their mouth? Or, create love with their own awesome bodies. I would totally do it. Anyhow, I think eventually everybody had a blast, and it is something to be remembered.
Everyone always kept telling me that the wedding day will go by extremely fast and to just enjoy every little moment of it. And well, although that's true, it was a bit difficult with all the issues we seem to be facing. From the stormy weather to the shuttle barely making it up the windy road to the winery, we were definitely overwhelmed. But having my groomsmen there helped ease my worries. And, well, the alcohol too. Once the ceremony started, I had an intense feeling of euphoria. And it's a bit hard to explain, but once I saw Yvonne walk down the aisle in a dress I was never allowed to see, I was just happy. Despite all the issues surrounding our big day, I knew at that moment that her and I could tackle anything that life threw at us from that moment on.
It is now my honor and privilege to pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. First time, I'd like to introduce Jeff and Yvonne Sarah. And Jeff.
Node, hohoi sam, tong, daiga hing chuk, no tong, Yvonne go fan lai, ho daoje, daiga. And my Cantonese is a bit rusty, so I think Yvonne can help translate.
Very good. Give it up for him again for learning Cantonese. What Jeff really wanted to say is thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts for coming all the way, rain or shine, celebrating with us, family and friends. So we want to thank you all, and we want to thank you, the whole team, to make this whole production, from Byington team, Elaine Bell, everyone, all the vendors. So thank you so much, and most importantly, thank you guys. Enjoy the night. So cheers!
Holy moly. I was really stressed out right before the ceremony. With the rain, the alterations that we have to do, the adjustments, it was a lot for me at that time. Thankfully, I had my family there, my friends, my bridesmaids there to support me. And luckily they were saying having rain on your wedding day is a blessing. And I just took that to heart and felt at ease right after. And towards the end, really, I couldn't ask for a better ceremony. It was perfect and blissful. And maybe I had a shot or two and a glass of wine. What do I think right after the wedding is over? Relief. And really, I'm happy that there's no more dieting and restricting myself. I'm just gonna let myself go. It's really just a little bit.
I was so relieved once the wedding was over. That meant no more planning or stress surrounding the event, and life just went back to normal. Well, with the addition of a new family member.
Backward!